Is there anything that cannabis can't do? Apparently not, as now it's even being looked at as a way to treat the coronavirus, or I should say, as a way to potentially prevent the spread of the coronavirus. So I should say ahead of time here before I get into the research, this is not peer reviewed, and there is no clinical trial yet. I'll get into a reason as to why, but this is promising research into cannabis in terms of using it to prevent the coronavirus. So this is from the Calgary Herald. After sifting through 400 cannabis strains, researchers at the University of Lethbridge, which is in Alberta, Canada, are concentrating on about a dozen that show promising results in ensuring less fertile ground for the potentially lethal virus to take root, said biological scientist Dr. Igor Kovalchuk. Quote, a number of them have reduced the number of these virus receptors by 73%. The chance of it getting in is much lower, said Kovalchuk. If they can reduce the number of receptors, there's much less chance of getting infected. So, potentially reducing infection by 73% is huge. Now, again, this is still early research, not yet peer-reviewed, no clinical trials, but this is a barrier that a lot of cannabis research faces. The absence of clinical trials remains a barrier, and funding from an increasingly cash-strapped cannabis industry isn't there to fuel that, said Kovalchuk. Quote, we have clinicians who are willing to work with us, but for a lot of companies in the cannabis business, it's significant cash that they can't afford, he said. So this is a massive issue when it comes to cannabis research. The money just isn't there. So it is still a very young industry in, I guess, most places still. It's still viewed as an illegal drug. So it's not really, it's really not yet looked at seriously in terms of addressing many of these issues, even though there has been at this point, I mean, decades of research into showing all the benefits of cannabis use. But still, the money just isn't there. Now, when it comes to this particular research, this is research focused on sativa strains of cannabis. So sativa is generally viewed as the less couch-inducing strain of cannabis. So there's indica, which is the other one. Think of it as couch. So indica couch makes you kind of, relax, watch TV, not do much. Sativa is the more, I guess, uplifting strain or uplifting strains of cannabis that don't put you in the couch. And also, a lot of sativa is also very balanced when it comes to THC and CBD content. So CBD is the non-psychoactive component of cannabis. So THC is what makes you high. CBD is more of an anti-inflammatory. The researchers in Alberta conducted a study using artificial 3D models of oral, airway, and intestinal tissues, coupled with a limited sample of high CBD cannabis sativa extracts modulate ACE2 gene expression and ACE2 protein levels. The results indicated hemp extracts high in CBD may help block proteins that provide a gateway for COVID-19 to enter host cells. So, I know that's a lot of information there. ACE2 is an enzyme that's attached to the outer surface of cells that are in lungs, arteries, heart, kidney, and intestines. So this is what they're looking at in terms of how COVID-19 affects the cells in those various organs. And they've seen from their research that CBD extracts, the ones that they're looking at, have a potential to reduce the ability for COVID-19 to enter those cells. And this research is not just happening in Canada, but also Israeli researchers have begun clinical trials of CBD as a treatment to repair cells damaged by COVID-19 using its anti-inflammatory abilities. It's thought CBD could enhance the traditional effect of steroids in such treatment of patients in life-threatening condition and also bolster the immune system. So more research here into the potential benefits of cannabis when it comes to treating the coronavirus, but again, not yet peer-reviewed, still early research. I just point that out because I don't want people to just, go get high and think, oh, now I'm protected and I can go out, not wear a mask, not worry, it doesn't matter. Cannabis saves me. That's not what's going on here. These are very particular strains of sativa, focusing on CBD within that sativa and the potential benefits of that. And what may come out of this research eventually, as also described in the article, is treatments like mouthwash, inhalants, or gel caps that would have this CBD in it that could help to stop the spread of the coronavirus. But again, early research. But also, it's important to point out here how little we know about the benefits of cannabis. Even with decades of research, there is still not enough research that's being done. And what I'm seeing right now, in Canada with legalization happening with cannabis being legalized a couple years ago, it's being treated as another version of alcohol, as just another way to feel good. When in reality, alcohol has no medicinal use, but cannabis does. So to treat cannabis the same as alcohol is just completely ignoring the actual science of the benefits that cannabis has. So cannabis should be treated, yes, of course, it can make you feel nice, but it should also be treated as a way to potentially alleviate some serious issues, as it's already being used in other cases. So cannabis should be, respected for the substance that it is, and not treated as just another way to get high. But anyways, I think this is some good research, and hopefully we'll hear more about this as it continues.